If you are born to a particular part of the world, a particular tribe or whatever you call it, section of people, so you will carry on your DNA coding of what your ancestors have eaten. So the another very sad situation is the area of agriculture where huge amount of fertilizers are used, artificial fertilizers. I have seen about a month before an example, a student of ninth standard of 14 years, when he was blocked by the parents, in Tamil Nadu it happened, not to play video games, they pulled off his cell phone.
Is it burgers, pizzas, french fries, or too much rice? All three meals ordered online, work from home, no exercise, stress. Which is the culprit? Hello and welcome to Dr.C.K.Nandagopalan YouTube channel. I'm your host Susan and I have here the star of the show, Dr. C.K.N. Welcome, Doctor.
Hi.
What do you think is the culprit? What causes diabetes?
Many people are calling about lifestyle, food and nutrition and all that stuff. Many research papers are also available. So, the processed food, number one, is one of the major reason. And if you see one statistics at the beginning of 1900, there is a statistics available with the American population was having only 4 pounds of sugar per annum per individual. Today they are nearly taking more than 100 pounds of sugar per annum per individual. So I would call it as in the last 50 years of rise in diabetes, for which the major reason is, one is excess food, and second is sophistication by the science not allowing us to walk. So we all have vehicle today, at least a two-wheeler. So you get out of the house, get into your vehicle, you drive it around, go to the destination point and walk into the other building. So we don't walk at all. This is one. Too much of processed food has come in. Cooked food, ready to eat. That is one of the major reason for this. And you talk about burgers and pizzas and all that stuff. The concept, what I would look at it for working in the food and nutrition area for many number of years, is human body is it's got a lot of memory built in over lakhs of years, and if you are born to a particular part of the world, a particular tribe or whatever you call it, section of people, so you will carry on your DNA coding of what your ancestors have eaten. So the nature is given the concept in such a way that whatever grows around you for about 100 200 kilometer radius should be your food. Now, because of the global transport system, every part of the food from every part of the world available everywhere. So that is one of the major reason. We don't know what kind of food is affecting you, which is very difficult to understand. Then when it comes to the question of lifestyle, we have no much exercise. Children are also not playing these days. The electronic revolution, the excess communication, people are over obsessed with communications. You can see everybody either having a mic in their ears or having their mobile phone, talking all the time. So how much of radio frequency radiation is affecting us with respect to metabolic imbalance? We have no understanding so far. And people are not eating in time, and they don't eat proper cooked food nowadays. So the cooked food should be eaten in time.
What do you
And
mean by proper cooked food, doctor?
proper cooked food is you make food at home and eat, in the sense you stick to certain diet. If you're a rice eater or if you're a wheat eater or whatever it is, cook food and eat. Now, if you're going to buy a cooked food and heat it up and eat it, and that's not going to work. If you're going to cook food and allow it to get cold, it's called retrogradation in biochemistry, cooked and cooled. That if you're going to reheat it and eat it, it is not going to be good for you. And resistant starch will develop. That leads to short chain fatty acids at the colon, and that becomes one of the cause for diabetic mellitus. That is one of the research papers has been studied quite some time back. And the another very sad situation is the area of agriculture, where huge amount of fertilizers are used, artificial fertilizers. We have discussed this in our petroleum videos in the Tamil when we recorded. And we have enough of research papers, the effect of urea, which is giving artificial nitrogen to the plant kingdom to produce. Today, we are stuck in a position where we cannot produce yield of any plantation of either grains or vegetables or fruits or seeds or whatever you call it, without using artificial, this chemical industry fertilizers, which is a big lobby. And that is one of the major reason for people to pick up diabetes. That's what the research paper says. Yes, it may be true, but then it also causes hyperthyroidism. It also artificial fertilizer-based agricultural production is responsible for diabetes mellitus, hyperthyroidism, and many number of problems related to central nervous system. Those are also some of the problems what we are facing because of this food. And frozen foods is also not good, and especially frozen desserts are not good. And hardly any ice creams are produced using milk these days. Most of it we get frozen desserts we get. And we have gone further to that. We produce cooked food and sell, which people buy and heat it up and eat it. And that's not going to help you. And we don't know what are the other damages it can cause. Generally speaking, the present civilization is forgotten to play. They don't play at all. When we were all young, we used to either play cricket, or we used to play table tennis, or we used to play, some game or the other we used to play. Some football, some hockey, something will be keep on running. And that is not there. Childhood is getting hampered because of the electronic revolution of televisions, computers, and laptops, and your iPad and computer games, which
That is true, doctor. But I would say, like, as you rightly said, this generation is stuck with chemicals in the agriculture product. What can we do about that? Give us a solution for that. Instead of us just blaming on everything, do we have a solution? Can we give our viewers a solution here?
yeah, solution we'll discuss in a later program, but we are not blaming. We are only trying to discuss what are all the reasons for this diabetic mellitus to grow. Especially if you are clever enough, to make an observation that after 1990 people who are born, so by the time they reach the age of 15, the full-blooded internet and mobile phones with a touch screen and internet facility in the touch screen mobile phones were there. So they were all, amazed with that kind of thing. Then by 2009-10, when they are 1920, you can imagine always the people who are born after 1990, the same scenario. It's much faster they are. But then after 2009-10, all these social medias came, YouTube came, everything came. So abundance of information was available for people. Abundance of avenues were available for people to glue in their screens. So what happens is, other than their fingers, nothing else work. So you don't know what you're eating. You just. I have seen about a month before an example. A student of ninth standard of 14 years, when he was blocked by the parents in Tamil Nadu, it happened not to play cell phone, video games. They pulled off his cell phone. He committed suicide. Then you can imagine the conditioning part of it. If he's ninth standard, he's around 14 years of age. Then he is born somewhere around 2009-10, and you can imagine how much addiction is there. So people have been, the present generation after 1990, in the last 30 to 33 years, are tied up. Their physical movements are not there. I see a lot of children obese these days. I see a lot of children not growing with height because they are not running. You're supposed to run, scream and play. You have to scream a lot and play. And that is not there. And people have an idea of going to gyms. It becomes a business avenue. So gyms are not going to be your answer for your physical movements. No. And in this kind of business scenario, they give you a lot of protein powders and all that. We don't know what it is doing. And people are not opting for sports. They don't play any game. They don't do any exercise. A normal exercise of day-to-day life of walking and all is not there. And people are started eating too much outside food. The hotels and restaurants, or number of them, have increased in multifold, where a lot of MSG is used. We don't know what's the effect of that. There are a lot of food seasoning, food flavoring is also used. Too much of chemical has come into the commercial cooking, and they are all must be one of the culprit for people to get into a lot of metabolic imbalance. People are not having a good, strong gastro balance in them. Even young people are, been complaining about acidic condition from the age of 15 and so on. That is because of they are not having enough of physical movement. So all these reasons are some of the major factors for diabetes mellitus of different types to keep going up. Oh dear.
Thank you, doctor. And now we understand that it's our lifestyle, it's our choices that brings in a lot of bad health. We do a lot of bad health choices here. So let's talk more about this in the next episode. Until then, it's your host Susan signing off. Please subscribe, like, and share to the people you care. Love you all.